Hello dear friends, Fishy here. It's time for Bruno's teaching. And Bruno said, you ask, and I do it. Bruno always help us, and help us with our daily life, with our way back to God, because he's carrying God's divine mission. And Bruno always say, you have to ask. Yes, human beings, dear friends, we have our free wills. Bruno cannot do it without first being asked. And of course, we have to ask the good for ourselves, for our family, and for our neighbors. And Bruno cannot do any bad things for us. Everything has to be based on God, God's good. So Bruno will do all the good things for us. Yes, dear friends, over the years, and things happen in my life, little things, normally that came to life, that sometimes it's beyond my reach, or I wasn't in a good position to help. So I always ask Bruno for his help. Like often I was driving on the road and I see dead kangaroos on road, in the middle of the road. And when I was driving on the highway, or I was driving on the road with 80 or 90 speed limit, I wasn't in a position to stop and drag the kangaroo, the dead one, off the road. So in that case, I'll ask Bruno for help. I will ask Bruno, please, dear Bruno, please warn my fellow drivers so they do not drive on the kangaroos. They can avoid any traffic accidents. And please remove the kangaroos on the road in the way God has determined. And over the years, as a nurse, a community nurse driving around, I saw many injured parrots. And often, if I could, I'll put them in a little box, and I put Bruno's photo on top of them and ask Bruno for help. And most of the time, the injured parrots, they came alive. They came to be wild again. Over the years, there are many times I came across homeless people, normally it's men, and then I engage with them and I ask them, how do they go? I gave a bottle of water to them, and I could buy them a meal, a piece of cake. Most of them, they could engage a conversation. They'll tell me what's happened to them and how they became homeless. And I did what I could within my power to help them. And I asked Bruno, please, Bruno, help those people as what God has determined. Of course, not everybody can be helped. Some homeless people I met, they do not want to help themselves. They do not want to engage a conversation. They do not want to go to work again. In that case, the only thing I could do is just to ask Bruno and God for help. Also, Bruno always said, asking good for your neighbors. And often we ask good for ourselves, for our good health. There's nothing wrong with that. And we also ask for our families. And one thing we should not neglect is to ask Bruno to help our neighbors. Last year, when my home going through a renovation process, and then temporarily I put some rubbish in the bucket on my driveway because it has to be. The demolition will create lots of unwanted rubbish, and those rubbish has to be removed at the end. So when I kept some rubbish in the bucket in my driveway, and my neighbor complained about me because it didn't look good to her, and that was strange. Dear friends, sometimes you have this kind of situation. People, your neighbors around you, they don't like the looking of your place, and then they make complaint, because that affect them. And nevertheless, as what Bruno always said, in every situation, always remain calm. I did not argue with the neighbor, and then I asked Bruno to resolve this issue peacefully. And after that, the neighbor didn't even want to engage a conversation with me, just to clarify what she really wants. But that happens in life, dear friends. I still pray for my neighbor. I still ask peace between the neighborhood. That's what I can do, dear friends. And I keep saying to myself, always to remain peaceful and to not let my peace to be robbed by anybody, by any situations. Yes, dear friends, ask Bruno for all the good things, and he will do it for us. He always readily to do the work, as he has been always doing. I wish you have a good day, and God bless.